Okay, this is where it's going to really get weird. Hi, I'm Doug, Barefoot Adventure, and this is day 31 of my 1,000-day adventure of creating a video every day. I just looked up weird, and weird is different, out of the ordinary, abnormal. Also, the noun of it is destiny. So I found that very interesting with what I'm talking about. So, continuing my story from yesterday, my spiritual adventure of the Barefoot Princess Bride. Let's see. Yeah, I was just basically talking about where I'd been since October. Had a experience back then. Had a relationship. The relationship ended, and then since then there has been so much I have learned about myself and where I have come. It's just been absolutely amazing. What I want to do now is I want to go back to October 5th, because it was around the first of the year of January. I read where somebody had an experience and they started explaining it, and the reason I had noticed it's because it was called a Kundalini awakening, and at that time I'd never heard of it. I had heard of Kundalini because in fact I had been doing Kundalini exercises. I've done them for quite a while. It's an energy and breath work, and there's a few other things involved in it, and I had done it a while ago, and it was during that time I had started doing it again. And one of the things that talks about is by doing this, and the focus is you're opening your pituitary gland, which makes it that you're open to sense more things. And I had done it years ago, and I don't know, I just got more of an awareness to things around me, especially the animals and the horses. So I had restarted it about the beginning of the year, and when I heard somebody mention Kundalini awakening, something about it just triggered me like, wait a minute, was that what happened to me back there on October 5th? Because I'm looking at the definition of what people were talking about, and I went and started looking at all different definitions of what people went, experiences. I actually started watching videos, because one thing, I have learned, and I just take for myself, is yes, we may know what a definition is, or like Kundalini awakening, people say what it is, yet who's really to say what it is? You just go and you look at things, and maybe one person came up with an idea and now they passed it on. And the reason I say that is a lot of the people were saying the exact same experience, almost word for word, from what I have read somebody a long time ago. And while I do believe there is something happening, what was being described, which is a snake coiling up from your root chakra, everyone was saying that exact same thing, and just it almost sounds a little bit too scripted, even though I don't want to question what happens. I didn't have that. Mine was just totally different. It was an awakening. It was something that built up and burst out through me. And the other thing I started reading is, because I started getting questions, and I started reading, everyone else started having this thing where they were starting to have questions about this, and started this massive search. And I didn't read about that until I started this massive search about what this all was, and an unfolding, and an opening up. A bunch of other things also happened right there. Okay, Course of Miracles. I started doing the Course of Miracles at that time. Somebody mentioned that at the first of the year, so I started doing it. And actually, I had started listening to the book a little bit before then. I'll talk about Course of Miracles later. In the Course of Miracles, it talks about an event, an experience like the Kundalini awakening, where is the atonement, where you all of a sudden accept what is. That we're all one, that we're connected, this just sort of thing. It doesn't get religious at all. And so I was going into this exactly the same as I had done back with the Huna in October, with this of, okay, I'm just going to go in this, because I went into Course of Miracles because I read somebody did it to just totally shift and shake their mind up. And the other 2 times I'd gone through it, I didn't do it with this way. And so it's like, okay, let's start doing it. And so I started doing Course of Miracles, and all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, this is the exact same thing, of just accepting, opening up, that I've been reading about the Kundalini. And so that was just fascinating, and I'm still on that journey with Course in Miracles, and I definitely want to talk about it, because just even today, using the lesson from today, it was just amazing. I'm having such a massive shift in my thinking, and I believe it goes back to that October 5th, and whatever it is, I'll talk more about the Kundalini awakening. Now, the other thing that came out of this, I started reading where the Kundalini awakening was linked to your twin flame. And I was reading that once you have a Kundalini awakening, you will then it'll be easier for you to attract your twin flame. Well, I didn't go looking for these things. I didn't go looking for the woman that came at that time. I didn't go looking for the definition that she presented to me of what the twin flame was. And then when I saw about the Kundalini awakening and how your twin flame comes in and what that does, it's just like, holy moly. What was brought to me from her about what the twin flame was, because she had no idea what a twin flame was until I mentioned it to her, and she went searching and sent me this article. And what the article said was, the normal things which everyone says, all the things alike, timing, all blah blah blah. The one that really hit me was, your twin flame will come into your life, and they will want to take up the mission which you are on, because you're on a mission. And they will support you, and they will put their life into it. And that's what happened. Because I found my mission right when I met her, and my mission is just unfolding as I'm talking to her each night on the phone, and all of a sudden she's going, I want to be part of this. And so what happened during that time, which was amazing, was I was just accelerating how I was seeing this whole big picture, because I had this other energy to work off of and feed off of. And it was just amazing during that time, and it pushed me to where I've always done. Whenever I've done great things, it's been with a woman. And that woman has just propelled me. It's been my catalyst. I've always said that. So here she's accelerating me and pushing me all the way through. And one of the things that really hit me afterwards, and why it was just such a big impact, and it wasn't the relationship thing. It was, before I met her, I had spent probably 6 months getting ready to just lock in a decision of what I was going to do. And it had to do with my father passed away, just a whole big story about pleasing your father, not going into coaching because of him. And so I was just getting my whole mindset into, I'm going to go into coaching. And when this event happened, having to do with wrapping everything up with my father, boom, that's my decision. And when that day came, literally it was the day, I said, that's it, I'm going to do this. And part of it was going to Alaska on a trip, and I had it all planned out. Well, when I met this woman, things changed, and it was still my same path of, basically coaching, but now with the suicide prevention. And I was just going on a different direction, a different focus and a view. And so that path I was on, all right, let's shift it to this, and it was all okay. And when she chose a new path into this walk, I was left with, whoa. And it was just, moving. Yes, we both moved quickly, in life, but I was going to be moving there. And so, it's a relationship, moving, the path and direction I was going to go. I had to just reshift everything. And so that's why it was between when she walked away, and it was about a week and a half later when I decided this new adventure I was going to take. That's when I just did this massive shift. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the 7 years of spiritual growth I have done. I've been able to just, let's get focused on what's going on. Put aside the sadness, yes, it's there. But let's just jump into what we're going to do and create. And that's what I did. And it was pretty amazing. So in this study about twin flame, and you'll attract your twin flame, boom, I found it the very day I had my awakening. And then I'm listening to someone talk about it, and remember, everyone has their own ideas, opinions. Someone came up with what a twin flame was in this whole thing, yet people have put this stuff together through time. And so what is part of the story of the twin flame is when you meet your twin flame, and they mention people throughout history, great people. And one of it was Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And why that's so important for me is at age 5, I wanted to be like Jesus. I just wanted to go out and help people. And so then when I was in Las Vegas, no religion whatsoever, I had totally shifted of how I looked at Jesus. I looked at it as just a lesson, not a person. And so in Vegas, I said, okay, let's just follow these things he did. And so I set my life out following what he did with the faith and, walking the walk. And one of the things was I wanted to find my Mary Magdalene. And so when this woman came into my life, it was like, wow, I found my Mary Magdalene, because, so many things just aligned exactly with Jesus, Mary Magdalene, this person, and me. And it was so amazing. Yet she left. And so then when I saw this about Jesus and Mary Magdalene, twin flames here, back in January, I was like, wow, do I use law of attraction to attract her back? And I went, wait a minute, I did tell her that the beauty of just even being, in it, whatever it was with her was, I found this, if it doesn't work, I can find better. And so that's what I said, I could do that. And then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, Mary Magdalene only came into Jesus' life for a while. We only know about Jesus' life for a very short time, and it just so happened to be when it was with Mary Magdalene during his main part. So it's like, wow, I believe Mary Magdalene was the catalyst for Jesus, and she wasn't there for the whole time. And so I had this catalyst come into my life, and I'm grateful for it. And so it was just fascinating to learn all of this stuff. And here we are, February 5th, and this is just January that I've learned that. And whether it's true or not, I'm going to say it's true in my life, because it was an amazing experience and accelerated me way up to a level I've never been before. And just even today, doing my work, there was a bunch of things which was just like what normally pissed me off. It's fine. I used a lesson for today, and that is, excuse me, I've got to look at my list. Oh, I can't read it up. It has to do with, yesterday it was, I am part of God, and so that makes me holy. Now everything I see is holy because it's all part of God. And so this thing upset me today, and I said, wait a minute, that's holy. And just that thought and idea, not even giving any meaning, just this is holy, just relaxed me, and I went on with my work. This stuff is just amazing how it all works and pulls into play. This journey I'm taking it's incredible. And, I can go back time to time, all the way back to the 5th grade when I said, wanted to be Jesus. I can remember exactly where I was. This new one was this Kundalini awakening. And I believe part of it was, one, in the mornings I'm doing my Qigong, which includes my Kundalini yoga. It's energy work, focus, yoga, meditation, just a whole bunch of stuff wrapped into 20 minutes. And the idea of total faith and believing that what I'm going to do is going to happen, create it. And this is how I've created everything I have created in my past. I've learned so many other things during this about relationships, so much other things. And I'll share it. That's what part of this is all about. I got a lot more weird stuff to share. So that's it for now. Day 31. This is getting easier. I do got to get these put up a little bit sooner. It's like 9:30 now. Won't get this up till 10 o'clock. But that's the way it is. At least I'm doing it. You take care. See you tomorrow.